Feel Good Friday, and as promised, I spoke about it yesterday, spoke about it today, we spoke about it this morning. The World Bank is here. So many things, so many questions. The Vice President of Latin America and the Caribbean, Mr. Axal van Trotsenburg is here. Thank you for your time. I know you are so busy. You arrived, yesterday?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh.
Yesterday I arrived and stayed till this afternoon.
And you're leaving this afternoon already?
Yeah.
You're a busy man.
I am.
Oh, man. So let's get right to it, because I know you have so many things to do today. So I want to try to get as much questions and much information as possible as we can get from you. First of all, let's talk about, for those who don't know, what is the World Bank? For those who don't know, can you explain?
The World Bank is an international institution that is dedicated to development. So we're working in from Asia to Africa to Eastern Europe to Latin America to the Caribbean, and our purpose is to help in the development of countries. That can be in the education area, it can be in the health area, it can be in the infrastructure, building roads, or doing energy. So we are involved in many areas that affect the daily life of citizens of these countries. But our focus is long-term development, and that is the reason that we are also happy to be here in St. Maarten in this challenging time to recover from the hurricane catastrophe.
Okay. We hear a lot of talk about that St. Maarten, Holland received money from the World Bank. Exactly how much? You hear so many different figures at 560, 530. Exactly how much has St. Maarten received from the World Bank?
So it is not the money of the World Bank. We give loans, and those are not being received by St. Maarten. The World Bank provides loans, but we have also a large, what we call trust fund portfolio. Trust funds are monies that we are received from donor countries, and they are used for specific purposes. Again, from education, health, also recovering from hurricanes. See, we administer about 660 funds, of which it's about $30 billion. In this context, the Netherlands government also asked us to administer about a $500 million euro trust fund in favor of St. Maarten that is meant to help in the recovery effort, but also on development projects that have of longer duration.
Okay, so now this money, is there interest on this money?
There is grant money that we have received, and we're providing grant money to St. Maarten. No, that is not a loan, so no repayment and no interest. It's a gift.
Okay, now this money, that's a gift. How is it allocated? That's the main question. How is it allocated to certain projects here in St. Maarten, whether it's the hospital, the dump, the airport? How is that allocated, and who's in charge?
Well, that's a great question. When we are working with governments, we are following what are the priorities of the government. It are not World Bank priorities, but it is being worked out with the government. Clearly, when we got into a dialogue with the government of St. Maarten, their prime preoccupation was helping the affected population help recover, and that was, for example, looking at how we can restore the hospital to full functionality. That has been done. How do you help the police station also recover from the devastating impact? That has been done. How do you help in social housing where people had lost roofs and other? How do you recover that? We have basically by mid-year we'll have done this as well. Then there are private houses to be repaired. That is ongoing. So basically there is an ambitious program. We were also looking at how people were affected by this crisis, namely that after this enormous hit, many hotels had to close for obvious reasons. So people were unemployed. So immediately also the government thought it would be important to develop a program that could benefit the unemployed. So here we have been together with the government training people who are left unemployed. About 1,000 people we're targeting. Ultimately, that 1,800 people could be benefiting of this. What is the good news is there are many women who are working, but they are also upgrading their skills mix. So these are a set of things that are identified by the government, and as a function of this, we prepare the programs.
Okay, so the programs are prepared. Are they from the St. Maarten Trust Fund that say, okay, we need money for this, and then you guys say
that is correct. So basically, we have a steering committee that approves these proposals. So there are 3 parties in there. There is the government of St. Maarten, who has absolutely leadership role in the definition of the necessary projects. We have the Dutch government as the donor, as well as the World Bank as the executing agency, meaning we are preparing this project according to the rules that govern our operations worldwide, and with them we are working. But what is actually very, very encouraging is that we are not only looking at that short-term recovery, we're also looking at more longer-term challenges that need to be done. So I was just moments ago at the famous dump site and what to do. And what we have said is we are willing to bring our international experience to bear to see how one can solve this problem. Particularly what we need always that you avoid that it is a health risk. But as a small island, you want to have also smart waste management, meaning that you don't have all this waste accumulating. Think of countries like Singapore that also have a very limited space. Through smart waste management, they can reduce the waste that is being brought to there by 80% by sorting it out, burning what can be burned, and then actually only the absolute necessary remainder is put in a dump site. That is, these ideas could be also very powerful in St. Maarten because there is not much land available, and so you have to use really every square meter to the optimal. What we have offered is to bring the best worldwide expertise to St. Maarten so that indeed the best solutions can be found.
There have been so many solutions talking about the dump, so many different companies, so many different politicians that say, go with this company, go with that company. Once we figure out what to do with the dump, is when do we figure out who do we go with? Do we go with company A, company B? Who makes that decision?
That is a great question. This is not only here a question. You know, the World Bank is famous for due process. We don't want to favor somebody who had the inside scoop just because I had a great dinner with you, so now I have this nice radio interview with you. But basically, you want to make sure that this is really done well, that the money is well spent, that it is transparent, it's not corrupt, and basically that people have the feeling that here is something going on that is in the interest of the citizens of this country. And that is what we have been always insisting. We are in that sense tough on that because we have seen that a clean process brings the best results wherever you work, whether you work in Africa, you work in Latin America or Asia, and I'm sure it will also work here, that if people are convinced that we are really evaluating this. And let me add this: the World Bank is not, in that sense, a bank looking for the profit maximization. Our only maximizing objective is maximizing the positive development impact on a country. That's the only thing we care about. Profit maximization is not in our book, certainly not in a 500 million euro trust fund that is being provided on grants. So we are looking at what is the right thing to do for this, and we would not want to say that the World Bank has all the wisdom. We would like to provide all the necessary information to the decision makers here, and that they have they have the information, and that they can make an informed decision based on the interest that needs to be taken into account for the population.
So can the World Bank have a final say? Let's say, you know, I don't really think that's a good idea. Let's find something else.
Well, it depends on when it is not a good idea. For example, if there is in the bidding process there are incorrect things, we are very clear and tough, and then we will declare misprocurement. We will spell out the clear criteria on which basically the world can bid. What we have said, everybody can bid. But you need to comply to certain criteria. Those we will check. We also check the reliability of firms on this, and that will have points that because everybody can say that you would like to be in that business, but if you don't have a track record, that would not be good, and then probably you would not qualify on this. So what we want to do is put as much sunshine on the process so that people feel, look, this is well done, it has a lot of integrity, and the number one objective is serve the interest of the people.
Okay, so let's talk about stipulations, because we heard like when it comes to the airport, Holland wants a certain person on the board of the airport when it comes to in order to receive monies. What are some of the stipulations that you have, whether it's the dump and the airport?
Well, we would like to be involved in the airport rehabilitation. Again, on the governance part is you want to ensure that you have the best governance structure. That is a debate. I am myself not involved on that. That's also good. That is my team that is working on this. But again, what you always need to pick up in any of this engagement is the World Bank doesn't want to be involved in internal politics or with among others. The only interest is, can we ensure a transparent process with the highest accountability? Full stop. We are not interested to get into further discussions about it, but what we see is when you have this type of devastation, you need to make sure that the things are done right. Mm-hmm. And what we are saying is, be as transparent as possible, be it as also demanding as possible, that what we build back is stronger, can sustain a category 4 or 5 hurricane, and so that basically this island is better prepared for the next category 3-4 hurricane, and that basically people don't need to live through the scare they had to live through 2017. So that is what we're insisting. There's a second thing is, I think we need to be very, very ambitious all together. The World Bank wants to be part of this team and work day and night to make it happen. In that sense, what I've been saying to everybody who I met, I certainly would like to increase the level of ambition, work hard. If in the airport we can work 24/7, be my guest. We would like to see that. Why? Because it is good economics. It will help recover the island quicker, because it would be nice to get back to the 900,000 tourists you received in 2016, that you can do that as early as possible, ideally in the next 1 or 2 years. And basically, therefore, the airport will be of critical importance. And my sense is I arrived yesterday and the first thing we did, they gave me a tour. And my first question is, why not quicker? So I would certainly say that we got to do. And I would like to see that the people can follow the progress. Maybe we need to take out more newspaper articles, more billboards, more television. And thank you for this interview, because what we would like to communicate is that we want to work with you as hard as possible to get this done, because that is the only thing people would like to see. Otherwise, they feel there is a lot of hot air and there has been enough. And so you would like to move on this. And so we are looking forward to do this project. We have also identified additional financing from a European institution. So we hope that as soon as possible we can launch it. My recommendation is let's accelerate to the max.
Okay. Still talking about the airport here on Laser 101. We are here with the World Bank Vice President for Latin America and the Caribbean. We talked about this, the mention briefly about the stipulations and the transparency. I'll say the word, is corruption a word here that you guys are fearful of, or something because you guys are giving us a lot of money? And is corruption something, the thing that on your mind that you guys really want to avoid here?
Look, in all our operations, we are insisting on transparency. The point is that we are administering taxpayers' money. The fact is that people would like to see that things are honestly being done, and that they want to have trust that those who have been endowed with this money to execute for countries, that really 100% of the benefits which were meant for the affected population arrives where it should arrive. That is our obligation. So I don't care to say I'm going to talk about corruption, which is a negative agenda. I'm looking more at the positive agenda, is to say, how as a World Bank can you assure that the maximum number of people benefit from that, and that they feel this was an operation, this was well executed. People feel that it had a lot of integrity, and that makes them also proud that basically you can work in an effective way together without the concern that there were side deals. Okay. And this is a concern everywhere in the world. What we are having said, we want to be a very strong champion for clean, transparent government, and that it maximizes the inclusion of the affected population. And where there is corruption, we will fight it. Okay. We will fight this with all our means. We have investigators. We are not going to accept it because it has depressed so many people, and you can't let them down. Okay, one final question. I know you have to run. You have such a busy schedule, and I want to thank you for your time. One final question. September 6, 2017, we had our disaster. It is now June 17th. What's taking so long to get things done here in St. Maarten? I think you need to take some pride of what has been done. People have shown me videos and pictures after the hurricane, and you couldn't even receive people really at the airport. Apparently there was a tent. Now it has been the whole building has first to be done, but it has also to be done right. So I think that even if at the airport you see work happening, is the debris has been removed. Has it been 100%? No. But are you at the 90%? Probably yes. You see social houses being repaired, benefiting 500 people. You see training programs. You see people working, and you have tourists back. They fell to 450,000. I'm now hearing that this year you're getting to the 550,000. That is still not the 900,000, but you are making progress. So what we need to do is we need to build on the resilience of this country and of the people that there are, that we continue to work hard on this. And clearly there is still a lot of work to do, but one has also to give credit to the people for all the hard work over the last 1.5 years.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know you're busy. You have to run. You got to go. Thank you for visiting. You have. What are some of your meetings today? Really fast. Like where else you're going to be visiting in St. Martin today?
Well, we today I had the police station. Mm-hmm. I was in Parliament. Mm-hmm. I was with the cabinet. We have still a luncheon with them, and we were at the dump site yesterday. We had also a visit to the training center, to the airport, and social housing. We had that, and then we had a whole reception with the governor. He kindly had we had a very nice meeting. I have been meeting regularly with the prime minister. She has come to Washington. She's quite a champion of the regard. She's pushing hard, I think, what she should do, and we are happy to respond to this. So it has been really a privilege to come here. Hopefully I can come back, and thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. First time in St. Martin?
First time in St. Martin. Hopefully not the last time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Once again, the World Bank Vice President for Latin America and the Caribbean, Mr. Axal van Trotsenburg, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
It's Laser 101, 11:59. We'll be back with some more. Keep it right here.